Let's start with number one and Ali Morsi. The answer is in front of you, Ali. Tell me how we can answer this question with the skill that we learned together.
First, we find out what the question is asking for,
Okay.
which finding, if true, would most directly support Armio's hypothesis.
Mhm.
And then you look for the word hypothesize.
Okay, at first we must decide that which skill is this one. So this
Ah,
scientific because of the
uh,
word if true. What you want to support because sometimes it came as weaken. So support you're gonna be with. Support what hypothesis. So search for the word or the verb hypothesize. Bravo. يلا كمل.
and then we're going to take the sentence, the beginning of the sentence of the word hypothesize,
Okay.
read it, and check if it is enough. If it's not enough, we take the sentence before
طب
it.
really please.
Armijo hypothesizes that they can reduce the roasting time for solar roasted green chilies by using more heliostats.
Ali, did you enter with another account?
Yes, I'm joining from my laptop.
Okay. يلا go on. Huh.
Armijo hypothesizes that they can reduce the roasting time for solar roasted green chilies by using more heliostats.
Okay. Do you know the roasting time, يا Ali?
No, so we have to take the
Do
sentence
you know
before.
what is the helostats?
No,
So what you're gonna do?
take the sentence before.
Okay, not the sentence before. خلاص هنقرا من الاول بقى كله. Okay.
No.
يلا ها. Read it يا علي.
Roasted green chilies are a popular ingredient in southwestern cuisine, but the traditional roasting method of burning propane is not environmentally friendly. To see if solar power could provide a better alternative, engineer Kenneth Armijo and his team roasted batches of green chilies using between 38 and 42 heliostats, which are devices that concentrate sunlight. The team was successful in reaching the same roasting temperature used in traditional propane roasting, but they found that propane yielded faster results. While the fastest solar roasted green chilies took 6 minutes, batches using propane took only 4.
طيب احنا كده عاوزين نقلل الروستنج تايم اللي هو 6 minutes. نقل عن 6 minutes صح؟
صح.
فهنستخدم مور هيلوستاتس. كام الهيلوستاتس؟ من 38 ل 42. فاحنا عاوزين نعمل سبورت لده. ان احنا عاوزين نعمل ريديوس عن 6 minutes باللي احنا نستخدم مور هيلوستاتس. يلا نشوف الانسرز تحت.
A. Attempts to roast green chilies using 50 heliostats yields results in fewer than 6 minutes.
فده سبورت لان احنا عندنا 50 more than 42 وده هيبقى اقل من 6 minutes. يبقى ده support the hypothesis. Go to B.
Green chili connoisseurs prefer the flavor of solar roasted green chilies over the flavor of propane roasted green chilies.
Did we talk about flavor? Ali, did we talk about flavor?
No.
No, we didn't talk about this. Out of topic. Letter C.
The skins of solar roasted green chilies are easier to peel than the skins of propane roasted green chilies.
Did we talk about the skins?
No.
So we cancel. Out of topic. Letter D.
The temperature inside the roasting drum is distributed more evenly when roasting green chilies with solar power than with propane.
Did we talk about temperature?
No.
No.
You talked about no, 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 no.
Yeah, so it's out of topic again. So the answer is gonna be thank you يا علي. ممتاز يا علي. طيب خلينا اشرحها تاني كده عشان الناس تفهمها. When we find the phrase F true, this is a scientific evidence. دي أول حاجة. What you want to support. لأن احنا عندنا support illustrate weaken. فهنا عاوز يعمل support يا آلاء. نركز مع اللي احنا بنقوله يا آلاء أهو. عاوز يعمل support. Support الإيه؟ للhypothesis. So search for the verb hypothesize. أهي. نقرا السنتنس بقى. We're gonna read the sentence. Armijo hypothesizes that they can reduce the roasting time that I don't know how many minutes, what the roasting time is. For solar roasted green chilies by using more heliostats. What the heliostats? So now I have missing information يا آلاء. I have missing information يا رهف. So what we're gonna do? Read the whole thing to know the roasting time that you want to reduce them and to know what is the heliostats, to use more heliostats. So roasted green chilies are a popular ingredient in southwestern cuisine, But the traditional roasting methods of burning propane اللي هو الغاز البوتاجاز is not environmentally friendly. To see if solar power could provide a better alternative, engineer Kenneth Armijo and his team roasted batches of green chilies using between 38 and 42 هيلوستاتس. يبقى الهيلوستاتس دي عامله زي المرايه اللي بتاعت الشمس عشان تعمل ايه؟ نجيب alternative للسولار باور. فاحنا عاوزين نستخدم اكثر من ال 50 to use more than 50 to reduce the time, to reduce the roasting time, which are devices that concentrate sunlight. خلاص عرفنا الهيلوستاتس هي ايه. The team was successful in reaching the same roasting temperature using traditional propane. Even if I mentioned temperature here, but it's not the main thing that I want to support. Using traditional propane roasting. But they found that propane yield faster results. While the fastest solar roasted green chilies took 6 minutes, I need less than 6 minutes. Batches used propane took only 4. So I need to use more halostats to arrive or to reduce 6 minutes. So attempts to roast green chilies using 50 halostats, yes, more than 42, yield results in fewer than 6 minutes, less than 6 minutes. Yeah, this is what we want. Green chili consumers prefer the flavor of solar roasted green chilies over the flavor of propane roasted green chilies. We didn't talk about the flavor at all. We're talking about the reducing the roasting time by using more halostats. The skins of solar roasted green chilies are easier to peel than the skins of propane roasted green chilies. Again, we didn't talk about the skins. The temperature, even if we mention temperature, but it's not the main topic. The temperature inside the roasting drum is distributed more evenly with roasting green chilies with solar power than with propane. We didn't talk about temperature, so the right answer is A. Let's go to number 2, and is gonna help me is Ali Swalam. يلا يا علي. سويلم.
ايوه.
يلا ساعدني في رقم 2.
طيب which quotation from a work a student would be the most effective evidence for the student to include support of this claim. هو quotation
اسمه
يعني
ايه
مش
بقى
سؤال.
السكيل دي اسمها ايه؟
السكيل نفسها مش فاكر الاسم بس عارف ازاي احلها.
اسمها literary evidence. literary لما نلاقي كلمة quotation literary if true scientific. يا عم علي كمل.
هو عايز يعمل support للكليم. تمام.
سبورت للكليم. الله عليك يا علي. سبورت للكليم يعني دعم الكليم. هنعمل ايه بقى؟
هندور على كلمة claim في
ندور على
ال
الفيرب كليم.
sentences.
برافو.
اهي ماشي
استنى
in
يا
a
علي،
paper.
ساعات في
ايوه
الاسئله دي ما بيجيبليش كليم، ما بيجيبليش الفيرب كليم، فبن ايه بنكنسل الانترودكشن ونقرا من بعد الانترودكشن على طول. خلاص
تمام.
يلا.
In a paper, fashion design student claims that Clay's use of buttons as decoration was inspired by his childhood observation of the styles and action of the women in his family.
Do you need to read more يا علي؟
مم. لا خلاص عرفت هو عايز ايه.
خلاص، هو الراجل بيستخدم الباتنز اللي هي الزراير واتعلم الحركه دي من one of the women in his family. شكرا. انا عاوز استخدام الباتنز one of the women in his family. يلا يا علي.
طيب الانسر A. Kelly's grandmother who would repair clothing when he was a child frequently added mismatched buttons to the clothes to draw attention away from any flaws in the garments. هو عايز اعمل
فهم.
support فايه كويس.
لان في grandmother, this one of the women in his family, and they talk about mismatched buttons. طب B, why it's wrong?
Kelly was destined to be a designer from a young age. He learned ما قالش أي حاجة عن إن هو اتعلم، هو قال بس هو inspired.
لا، هو ما اتكلمش على الباتنز، ما فيش اي حاجه على الباتنز، لكن هو قال عن بيرثا اللي هي his aunt واتكلم عن his mother، يعني اتكلم عن women, but he doesn't mention buttons, so it's wrong. C.
طيب although some of the assortment of buttons appear to be mismatched pieces scattered randomly through Kelly's dresses, his most famous design feature carefully crafted patterns of matching buttons.
Why it's wrong?
آه، إنها matching buttons، هو قال إنها mismatch عشان الفلوز يعني ما تاخدش
ماشي.
بالك منها.
تمام. هو اتكلم عن buttons برضو، نجيبها بطريقه سهله يا علي. He talked about the buttons, but he didn't mention anything of the women. One of the women of his family. He doesn't mention that. يبقى cancel.
طيب.
D.
Many of Kelly's contemporaries were inspired by his design to incorporate buttons as well as zippers and snaps as decorative items in their work. ما فيش women.
برافو. يبقى الانسر is A. Thank you علي. ممتاز. Again, I'm gonna repeat. Whenever you find quotation, it's a literary evidence. برضه هو بيسأل يقول support, illustrate, or weaken. Here you want to support the claim. Let's search for the verb claim. It's here. So let's take the sentence. In a paper, a fashion design student claimed that Kelly's use of buttons as decoration was inspired by his childhood observation of the styles and actions of the women in his family. So now I need buttons, and it was inspired by the actions of one of the women. Kelly's grandmother, yes, one of the women of his family, who would repair clothing when he was a child, frequently added mismatched buttons to the cloth to draw attention away from any flaws in the garment, and in mission buttons, so it can support the claim. Let's look at B. Let's look at B. Kelly was destined to be a designer from a young age. He learned how to sew clothing from his Aunt Bertha. He mentioned one of the women. And his love of drawing was developed by his mother, another one of the women. But he doesn't mention anything about the buttons. The main thing here that is written buttons, so cancel B. Although some of the assortments buttons appear to be mismatched pieces scattered randomly throughout Kelly's dresses, his most famous design featured carefully crafted patterns of matching buttons. He mentioned the buttons, but he didn't mention any one of the women in his family. So cancel this. Many of Kelly's contemporaries, mean the people that they are friends or they are with the same task, like they are fashion design, were inspired by his design to incorporate patterns, as well as zipper and snaps as the creative item in their work. He mentioned buttons, but he doesn't mention one of the family women. So thank you. So the answer is A. Number 3 and Sherry. يلا يا Sherry.
Yes. Okay, which choice most effectively uses data from the graph to complete the statement?
What the skill is this one?
I don't remember.
يا لهوي. النيم بتاع السكيل هي اهم حاجه. اسمها quantitative evidence. ما احنا السكيل بتاعت الايفيدنس عندنا 3. عندنا scientific اللي هي F true. عندنا literary اللي هي quotation. اول ما نلاقي جراف ده quantitative. يلا ها.
Okay, although Sierra Negra experienced a lot.
لحظه انت رحت قريت الهايلايت بتاعي انا. لكن انا ليه بس بتقرا الجمله دي بس؟
Okay, because he wants me to complete the statement.
complete the statement. Whenever you find لان برضو بيجي في الايفيدنس هنا في الكوانتيتيف support weaken illustrate وcomplete. الاسهل complete. Why? Because you're gonna read the last sentence. Whenever you have complete, read the last sentence. طب هل هيخليني اقرا قبل؟ ممكن. If you have missing information or word that you don't understand, you're gonna read up. يلا يا شيري.
Okay, although Sierra Negra experienced a lot of deformation, its deformation rate was still lower than that of.
Wait. احنا هنا بيقول ايه؟ experience a lot deformation, and here he talk about deformation اهو. Deformation rate centimeter per month. Its deformation rate was still lower. He talk about Sierra Negra. فسيرا نيجرا is lower than what؟
Pacaya.
بس خلاص شكرا. اسهل ما يمكن. خلاص. سهلة. دي level 1. Let me repeat again. Thank you, Sherry. So here it's a quantitative evidence. How we know? Because there is a graph or a schedule or drawing. So it's quantitative evidence. Here he told us the complete. So look at the last sentence. دي طريقة من الطرق السهلة. When you're going to read more, you're going to read more if you find word that you don't understand or there is a missing information. Here he said, although Sierra Negra experienced a lot of deformation, its deformation rate was still lower than that. We're talking about Sierra Negra, this one. It's lower than what? We don't need more information. خلاص باكي. or بكاية. Let them. Let's go to number 4 and with Nardine.
Yes.
Mm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The domain is central ideas and details.
برافو. The skill here is main idea and details. طب هي main idea ولا details يا ناردين؟
Read into the text by the detail أظن هي مش من idea.
details يا ناردين.
ما
why؟
أنا قلت details.
ماشي. لا ما انا باكد على كلامي كده يا ناردين، باكد، ركزي.
ماشي.
فهنا ليه مش main idea؟ لان المين idea question it will come directly and tell you what is the main
أيوة
idea.
أيوة
بس فهنا قال according to the text he's asking about a comprehension question. يلا.
ماشي. هو أول حاجة ما بقراش أول حاجة اللي هي
لا قلنا في الديتيل question بنقرا كله.
لازم أول حتة اللي هي
ايوه
ماشي.
طبعا الديتيل question بنقرا كله. we read all things all stuff. ها
ماشي. أوصل.
read
The
the question
following
first.
text
لا
is
اقرا
from
الكويشن الاول.
Shyam.
اقرا الكويشن الاول يا ناردين.
According to the text, why does the narrator consult some family photographs?
Yeah, so why the narrator consult some family photographs? يلا read the whole thing.
ماشي. The following text is from Shyam
Salvadori's
1994 novel Funny Boy. The 7-year-old narrator lives with his family in Sri Lanka. Radha auntie is the narrator aunt. Radha auntie, who was the youngest in my father's family, had left for America 4 years ago when I was 3, and I could not remember what she looked like. ماشي. I went into the corridor to look at the family
here the family
photographs.
photographs start mention. Why?
Mm.
Because he didn't remember his auntie.
أيوة. that were hung there, but all the pictures were old ones, taken when Radha auntie was a baby or younger. Try as I might, I couldn't get an idea of what she looked like now. ماشي. My imaginations, however, was quick to fill in this void.
Okay. So he wants to fill the void, the empty space that he didn't remember his auntie.
ماشي. هبص على questions والصح أخليه والحاسة غلط أشيل.
هو كده انت خلاص لان ده reading comprehension ف you have to answer the question directly. Go on.
أيوة. He hopes the photographs will help him recall what his aunt looked like. أيوة.
Okay.
عشان هو بيقول هو مش فاكر هي شكلها عامل ازاي وان هو راح الكوريدور عشان يشوف الفاميلي فوتوغرافز
برافو يا
وما
نبيل.
عندوش ايديا هو شكله عامل ازاي دلوقتي. هي شكلها عامل ازاي دلوقتي.
يلا go to
بس
the
هي ايه؟
Okay. B. Why it's wrong?
He is curious about how his father dressed a long time ago. لا هو متكلمش عن his father أصلا في
برافو. C.
He wants to remind his aunt of an event that is shown in the old photographs. لا هو أصلا ما شافهاش بقاله كتير.
برافو. والأنت أصلا مش موجودة. She's
أيوة.
dead. Okay.
He wants to use the photographs as inspiration for a story he is writing. لا he didn't mention that.
Yeah, he doesn't mention that. Thank you. Bravo.
You're welcome.
Okay. So here, this question is main idea and details, but it's a detailed question because it doesn't ask about the main idea. He said, according to the text, why does the narrator consult some family photographs? Why? He went to see some family photographs. Let's read up. In the detailed question, we have to read the whole thing. The following text is from Shyam Salvadori's 1994 novel Funny Boy. The 7-year-old narrator lives with his family in Sri Lanka. Radha auntie is the narrator's aunt. So now we know that Radha is the aunt. Radha auntie, who was the youngest in my father's family, had left for America 4 years ago when I was 3. So he was a baby. And I couldn't remember what she looked like. I went into the corridor to look at the family photographs. Why? To know what his aunt looked like that were hung there. But all the pictures were old ones, taken when Radha auntie was a baby or younger. Try as I might, I couldn't get an idea of what she looked like now. My imagination, however, was quick to fill this void, to remember her. So why he consults some photograph? To remember his aunt. He hoped the photographs will help him recall what his aunt looked like. Yes, it is what was mentioned here. He's curious about how his father dressed a long time ago. He doesn't talk about his father at all. Only his father mentioned that Radha auntie is the youngest in his father's family. He wants to remind his aunt of an event that is shown in the old photographs, even if it's not mentioned. He wants to use photographs and inspiration for stories writing. No. So the answer is A. Let's go to number 5. Rafif.
Yes,
Yeah, tell me how you're going to answer this question.
it's main idea question, so we're reading the first sentence and the last sentence.
Bravo. So
And if
read.
we didn't get the main idea, we read the whole text.
Bravo. يلا, go on.
Psychologists wanted to test how young children think about reward and fairness.
Then the first sentence, huh?
Yes, the last sentence, the children may have believed that the teacher who did not count did not care about fairness.
Okay.
So we're reading the choices right now. Psychologists think children cannot understand the concept of fairness until they are 6 years old. He did not talk about the age.
Okay. He doesn't mention the age whether in the first sentence or the last sentence. Perfect.
Yes, so we're excluding it.
Okay.
B, an experiment found that counting out loud is the best way to teach mathematical concept to children. He did not talk about math, he talked about reward and fairness from the point of view of children.
Okay. Perfect. So cancel B.
C, an experiment showed that the way rewards are given out may affect whether young children think the situation is fair. We will count it, but we'll read B to see which one is more correct. Psychologists
We
think,
cancel B. So now it's C. So maybe
yeah,
C is the answer because it talk about rewards, fairness. So maybe D.
yes, psychologists think young children accept to be rewarded when the children show that they care about fairness. Right now, we're comparing between C and D, so we have to
Okay.
read the whole text.
Bravo.
Psychologists wanted to test how young children think about rewards and fairness. In an experiment, 2 teachers handed out rewards while children aged 4 to 6 watched the teacher give out the same number of rewards, but one of them counted the reward out loud. The children were then asked who was fair. 73% chose the teacher who counted. The psychologist think that counting showed the children that the teacher wanted to be fair. The children may have believed that the teacher who did not count did not care about fairness.
So now from what you read, you find that C is better. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Perfect, Rafif. Okay, this question also relates to the main idea and details. He asked us about the main idea. Whenever you find the word main idea, read the first sentence and last sentence. خلينا اقول لكم على حاجه. انا لو كنت قريت التكست كله كنت هروح للحته بتاعت 6 دي واقول برضه ان هي صح. اللي هي 6 years old. But it's better in the main idea to read the first and last sentence, then you start excluding the wrong answers and leave the right answers. If you find only one, alhamdulillah, حصل خير, and this level 1. If you find more than one, so in that case, you're going to exclude whatever is not mentioned in the first and last sentence and read the rest of the text. طيب في أسئلة بتيجي level 3 ما بنلاقيش اصلا answers مناسب ولا ال1 ولا first sentence ولا last sentence. In that case خلاص ما بنعملش بقى excluding لل4 choices. بنقرا الفول sentence we find the one that is talking about. فأنا بقول psychologists wanted to test how young children think about rewards and fairness. The last sentence, the children may have believed that the teacher who didn't count didn't care about fairness. So now we'll talk about rewards, fairness, that is repeated twice. And we'll talk about counting. Psychologists think children cannot understand the concept of fairness until they are 6 years old. It doesn't mention the time or the age itself. So cancel. An experiment found that counting out loud, it's an experiment. And they said counting is the best way to teach mathematical concept for children, but I didn't talk about math. They talk about rewards and fairness. So cancel B. An experiment showed that the way rewards are given out may affect whether young children think the situation is fair. Maybe because we talk about rewards and fairness, and we're talking about an experiment, so it can be. Psychologists think young children expect to be rewarded when the children show that they are care about fairness. Again, it mentioned the two words that we're talking about, so it can be. So now we are between C and D. A and B cancel, excluded. So now we're going to read the whole text. Psychologists wanted to test how young children think about rewards and fairness. In an experiment, two teachers handed out rewards while children ages 4 to 6 watch. The teacher gave out the same number of rewards, but one of them counted the reward out loud. The children were then asked who was fairer. 73% chose the teacher who counted. The psychologist thinks that counting showed the children that the teacher wanted to be fair. The children may have believed that the teacher who didn't count didn't care about fairness. So it's an experiment. It's better. Yes, it's an experiment. Show that the way rewards are given out may affect whether young children think the situation is fair, and that was mentioned in the middle of the sentences. Psychologists think young children expect to be rewarded when the children show that they care about fairness. We're not talking about the children themselves. We're talking about that the children see that the teacher are fair or not. So the answer is C. Number 6, آسر أيمن.
ايوه يا مستر.
Raise your voice يا آسر بالله.
ايوه يا مستر.
Okay, go on.
مم.
What is the name of the skill يا آسر?
صراحة مش عارف يا مستر، مش متأكد.
طيب. Whenever we find most logically complete, this is inference. Domain 1. Inference question. Yalla, how you solve it?
We read from the start till the first dot over here.
No, from the start. احنا بنقرا التكست كله يا آسر. We read the whole text and we start finding the repetition. ايه الحاجة اللي قاعد يعيد ويزيد فيها؟ يلا يا آسر.
Alice directed hundreds of films between 1896 and 1920. She wants audience to feel like they were watching real people on screen. She would encourage actors in her films to behave naturally. She even hung a large sign reading "Be Natural" in the studio where she made her first film. At the time, film lacked sound, so actors needed to rely solely on their bodies and facial expressions to convey emotion. As a result, actors tend highly what?
Exaggerate.
Exaggerate their actions and expression. The style of acting in her films were therefore.
Okay, tell me a summary for what you read and what is repeated.
That she wants to feel the audience watch real people on the screen.
Okay, and at that time there is voice? No, there is no voice. So the people that they are acting on that
Body and
time, or the
facial
actors,
expressions.
they depend on facial expression and their bodies.
Body.
Okay, but she didn't want that. They want them to be natural.
To act natural.
So read the answers now.
A very usual for the period.
Yes, it's strange for the period because no sound and the actors depend on their body and facial expression. So just to be natural is going to be something strange for them. Huh? B.
Copied by many of Guybrush peers. Better than
Tell me why B is wrong.
Because it's not copied by other
Yeah, he
peers.
doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about Guy Bleach's peers at all. ما اتكلمش عن اصدقاء، هو اتكلم الاصدقاء او في الوقت دوت الناس ما كانتش كانت بتستخدم facial expression and body gestures. C.
Better than film acting today.
Does he mention any film acting today compared? No. يبقى خلاص ما اجيبهاش. Okay, D.
They're to actors who had worked on other directors' films.
Is it familiar?
No.
No, it's not familiar because at that time there is no sound. Thank you, S. Bravo. So whenever we find logically complete, this domain one inferences, what we're going to do, we read the whole text and find the thing that is repeated. Don't bring anything that depend on your prior knowledge. الانسر بنجيبه من هنا يا شباب، مش حاجة من بره. يعني ما تقوليش لا ما ده كانت افضل من الافلام بتاعت النهارده. يا عم انت ايش عرفك؟ انت كده بتبني على البراير نوليدج. انا مش عاوز حاجه من بره، انا عاوز من القطعه نفسها. Alice Guy Platchey directed hundreds of films between 1896 and 1920. She wanted audiences to feel like they were watching real people on a screen. She would encourage actors in her film to behave naturally. Guy Platchey even hung a large sign reading "Be Natural" in the studio where she made her films. At the time, films lacked sound. So actors at that time, فالactors تعمل ايه? Needed to rely solely on their bodies and facial expression to convey emotion. As a result, actors tend to highly exaggerate their action and expression. The style of acting Guy Platchey's film was therefore very unusual for the period, yes, because at that time, actors depend completely on their facial expression and body gestures. Copied by many of Guy Platchey's peers, we didn't talk about that here. It's not mentioned at all. Better than film acting today, we didn't compare it to film acting today, even it's not mentioned. Familiar to actors who had worked on their directors' films, we didn't mention that it's actually familiar because it's only for the people that they act with or work with Guy Platchey. Number 7 and Rahaf Abdul Karim.
Okay, so this question is inference because he says logically completes.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have to read the text from the beginning.
Okay.
Many people are familiar with the literary works of J.R.R. Tolkien, such as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Tolkien was known for creating rich, intricate fantasy worlds in his novels, which often featured themes of heroism and courage. Fewer people, however, are aware that Tolkien was a professor of Anglo-Saxon and medieval English at Oxford University, and that he incorporated elements of those languages and historical periods into his works. Thus, those who read Tolkien's novels without this knowledge, okay, so
Okay,
we're
give me
going
a summary.
to
Give me a summary
eliminate
of
the
what you...
choices.
Okay, but give me a summary of what you read and what you understand.
Okay, so now we know that some people don't really know about this person, that he used to be like a professor at Oxford
Perfect.
University in Anglo-Saxon and medieval English,
Mhm.
which
And he
means,
used
or like based on the text,
and he
uh,
used his academic expertise actually when he's writing films. Okay, go on.
and based on the text, it says that he incorporated elements of those languages and historical periods into his works.
Okay.
So based on the last sentence,
Mhm.
thus those who read Tolkien's novels without this knowledge، يعني الناس بقى اللي مش عارفة أصلا كده ممكن يقولوا ما يعرفوش أصلا إن هو كان بيعمل يعني كانش بيعمل incorporating للelements اللي كان
Perfect. طب
بيديها أو
why
بيشرحها.
A is wrong?
What?
Why A is wrong? Why choice A is wrong?
May not appreciate the extent to which his writing reflects in the political climate of his time. We didn't talk about any politics.
Okay, perfect. Why C is wrong?
May mistakenly believe that his literary works are grounded in historical facts. We didn't also talk about any history.
Excellent. D, why it's wrong?
May underestimate the impact that the works of other fantasy authors had on his writing. We didn't talk about any authors besides this person.
Perfect. Thank you, Raf. Thank you. So, as you find here, whenever we find logically complete the text, it's inference scale. We have to read the whole text and find what is repeated in. Don't bring anything from out of topic. Here he said many people are familiar with the literary works of J.R.R. Tolkien, such as The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Tolkien was known for creating rich, intricate, fancy words in his novel, which often featured themes of heroism and courage. Fewer people, however, are aware that Tolkien was a professor of Anglo-Saxon and medieval English at Oxford University, and that he incorporated elements of those languages and historical period into his works. Thus, those who read Tolkien novel without this knowledge, without which knowledge? that they didn't know about that he was a professor, may not appreciate the extent to which his writing reflect the political climate of his time. We didn't talk about any political things. May not recognize the influence of that his academic background had on his literature works. Yes, maybe, because they didn't know about that he was a professor and he incorporated those elements while he was writing stories. May mistakenly believe that his literature works are grounded in historical fact. We didn't talk about any kind of historical fact here. May underestimate the impact that the works of others, fancy authors, had on his writing. We didn't talk about any other authors. We're talking only about him. So the answer is B. Number 8, and Dima.
Hi.
Hi, Dima.
Okay, so this skill is words and context.
Perfect.
And okay, so we start by reading the whole thing.
No, we start by finding the connotation of each word. Forgot?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
oh, sorry.
Uh-huh. So fleeting.
Fleeting,
Fleeting
like
means
what it means,
flash,
right?
something like
Yeah.
hairy. So it's what? Neutral.
Uh-huh.
Revert.
And revert is like admired,
So it's
right?
positive.
So it's positive.
Huh?
Obscure is it's negative. I don't
Negative.
know what it means, but I know it's negative.
It's dark, something that is lake, dark, so it's negative, huh?
Okay, and precarious.
Yes.
What that means either.
It's depend on chance.
Okay.
I'm actually sharing the screen there, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's neutral. So
Okay.
now we have
Yeah,
two neutral, one positive, one negative. Whenever we have neutral, what we're gonna do? Go to the
we
context
cancel them.
clue. That right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the Iguazu Falls, which lie on the border between Argentina and Brazil, are a popular and blank tourist destination.
Complete?
The waterfalls have been visited by people from all over the world for over a century, and they are often cited as one of the most impressive natural wonders on Earth.
Okay. So what do you think
Okay.
the connotation of the text?
It's positive because it's talking about something in a positive way.
Yeah, so we're gonna cancel C. And now we have
Yeah.
A, B, and D. If you find and, whatever come before and, come after. So here he said popular, mostly positive. So it's gonna be what?
Yeah.
Revert.
So be revert.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dima. Perfect. So again, this is the first question that will come in the test. It's words in context, domain 2. Number 1, we must find the connotation of each word. Fleeting means flash, neutral. Revert means worthy, positive. Obscure means dark, negative. Precarious means depend on chance, neutral. Whenever we have neutral, even if it's one, go to the context clue. The Iguazu Falls, which lie on the border between Argentina and Brazil, are a popular, positive, and whatever come before and come after. It's different from but, because what come before but come opposite after. Here and what come before come after. Popular, positive. Tourist destination. The waterfalls have been visited by people from all over the world for over a century, and they are often cited as one of the most impressive natural wonders on Earth. Impressive, positive. So directly, I'm going to cancel C. And now I have fleeting, revert, precarious, so I'm going to go to revert. That is positive completely. Number 9, and Ala. Ala, hello. Ala is not here. She's entering. Ala, hello. Ala, can you hear me? Hello. Ala. Ala, hello. طب let's go to Rahul Yahya until Ala start hearing us. Rahul Yahya.
Yes, mister.
Number 9.
Words in context, vocab,
Okay.
because they said the most logical or precise word. or
Okay.
phrase. So we're gonna start reading.
No,
Charles.
start finding the connotation of each word
Oh,
first.
yes.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Okay.
Inventing. Mister, why did you put inventing like
Neutral.
neutral?
Yes,
Should
because
be
people can
positive.
invent in drugs.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Huh?
Yes. So inventing neutral. Then we have counting, also neutral. And then replacing neutral because we also can replace in good or bad things.
Okay.
And then we have preserving positive. But when
Okay.
we have
Can we use the
neutral,
odd one out here, ya Rahaf?
no, because we have
No.
neutral.
Yeah, whenever we have neutral, we can't use the rule of odd one out. So now we're
Yes.
going to read the whole text.
We can only use it if we have positive or negative.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're gonna read the text. Charles Tinney Hayes was a photographer for the Pittsburgh Courier from 1936 to 1975. During his career, he took over 70,000 photographs documenting everyday's life in Pittsburgh, Black communities. The Carnegie Museum of Art maintains
Take
thousands
care of
of
the word maintain. This is one of the main word. Maintain. Okay. Huh?
thousands of his photographs carefully.
Uh-huh.
Them so that audience can continue to view them well into the future. Also, one of the important part is that when they mention that the audience can continue to view them well into the futures, which means preserving. Preserving means so that they keep them so that when people come, they can see like all of them.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Araf. So, again, this works in context, vocab, domain one, domain two, as we said, that will come in the beginning of each module. Number one, we find the connotation of each word. Here he said inventing, neutral, counting, neutral, replacing, neutral, preserving or saving, positive. So because we have neutral, even if it's one, go to the context clue. We can't use the odd one out with neutral, even if here the answer is a positive one. Here he said Charles Stennis Harris was a photographer for the Pittsburgh Courier from 1936 to 1975. During his career, he took over 70,000 photographs documenting everyday life in Pittsburgh Black community. The Carnegie Museum of Art maintains, save, this is one of the words that will give us, thousands of his photographs carefully. I need the modifier. Modifier for what? For the museum. What the museum did. So here he said they maintain. So it can give me the answer that it's preserving them so that the audience can continue to view them well into the future. And as Raf said, that it will be safe to the future for the people. So preserving. Ala, I wish now that you can hear me.
Yes, mister.
Okay, Ala. Number 10, Ala.
Okay, so
What is
it's
the
also
skill?
word context.
Excellent.
First of all, we're gonna see the choices, the vocabulary.
Yeah, the connotation of each word. Okay.
Yeah, uncertainty about it's neutral.
It's a neutral. Some people or some students in other sessions, they said that it can be negative because I'm not sure. But even you are not sure about that you're doing the right or wrong. Okay. So it can be neutral. Thank you. Huh? Letter B.
Motivation for it's positive.
Okay.
Identifier of it's neutral. And
Okay.
criticism of it's neutral.
Criticism of also some people said that it's negative. Because of that, I put it between brackets. But it's completely criticism can be for the positive or the negative. So it's a neutral. So now you have 3 neutral and 1 positive. Can you use the odd one out, Yala?
No.
No, we said that whenever we have neutral, you have to go to the context clue. Okay.
Yeah. According to statistician Nassim Taleb, the best way to predict the amount of time non-comprehensible intensity, such as building or technology, will continue to exist is to examine how long it has survived so far. In this view, an item's age is the strongest, how much longer it will last. The only vocab that can fit with the statement is identifier of.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ella. So as you can find here, number 1 in words in context. So we have to find the context clue. Uncertainty about, it's in neutral. Motivation for, positive. Indicator of, neutral. Criticism of, Neutral. Here I can't use the odd one out because we have neutral. So now we're going to go to the context clue. He said, according to statistician Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the best way to predict the amount of time, take care. He wants to predict the amount of time an unbreachable entity, mean thing that can end, such as a building or a technology, will continue to exist, is to examine how long, again, it has survived so far. In this view, an item's age is the strongest indicator because we're talking about the amount of time. So the answer is C. Thank you, all of you. Now, let's go to solve some questions from that test. And I know that we have a session tomorrow, so I'm not going to give you a lot of homework. Solve number 11, please, and write the answer on the chat box. Number 11. I'm still waiting for Rafif and Asir Ayman. Number 11. Number 11, waiting for Asir Ayman. Okay, we have only one that got it as a mistake. Only one that got it as a mistake. Let's find together. And number 11. The main purpose is the same like the main idea. The main purpose is like the main idea. Whenever we have the main purpose, read the first sentence and last sentence. Read the first sentence and last sentence. As you can find here, did the first sentence and here the last sentence. Then we start eliminating. He said in most buildings, demolitions, the building materials are destroyed and sent to landfills. Okay. The last sentence, the remaining materials were processed for recycling instead of going to landfill. So instead of throwing it in landfill, this is opposite to the first sentence. They what? They recycle it. To explain an effort made by the city of Portland that I never read it to reduce demolition. Demolition, yes, maybe. Waste and some results of the effort, maybe. But he doesn't mention city of Portland, whether here or there. To discuss laws aimed to reduce demolition waste in Portland and compare them to similar laws in other cities, we didn't talk anything about laws. We didn't mention anything about laws. To show that popular support for measures that reduce demolition waste has increased since 2019, we didn't talk about any measures also. And even that time, it wasn't mentioned. To argue that building deconstruction is not as effective as other measures at reducing demolition waste, here he talk about the building, but he didn't say that it's effective or not. So the right answer A. If just, because I cancel B, C, and D. If just I want to be sure, read the whole thing. Read the whole thing just to be sure that A is right. In most building demolition, the building materials are destroyed and sent to landfills. City official in Portland, start to be mentioned now, Oregon, wanted to reduce this waste. The official passed the law. Here he mentioned laws. Because of that, I told you read only the first and last. Requiring demolition companies to deconstruct some building instead. Deconstruction involves carefully taking building apart piece by piece. Damage to the material is avoided so that they can be reused in new constructions. A 2019 study found that 27% of materials from deconstructions in Portland were able to be reused. The remaining materials were processed for recycling instead of going to landfill. So the right answer, as we mentioned, to explain an effort made by the city of Portland that was mentioned in the second sentence to reduce demolition waste and some result of the effort. So the answer is A. Asir Ayman, clear? Asir, I can't hear you. Clear? Hello? Asir, can you hear me? Asir Ayman, hello? I don't know if you can
Yes,
hear
I
me.
can hear you, Asir.
Okay. Keep with me, Asir Billah. Let's go to question number 12. The main purpose also يا شباب يلا. Write the answer in the chat box. Still waiting for Esther Ayman for number 12. Okay. No mistakes. In number 12, again, he said the main purpose. Forget about the introduction. Read the first sentence and the last sentence. The first sentence and last sentence. And start eliminating. If you find the answer, it's okay. But also, if you find the answer from the first time, I wish that you're going to return and read the whole text just to be sure about your answer. Just to be sure about your answer. As you can find here, he said, more than 2 years ago, my parents bought a piano from some people who were moving to Ara. The piano wanted to be set free. Okay, so now we're talking about the piano. It suggests that the narrator's brothers are talented piano players. We didn't mention brothers here. We mentioned parents and the author. It described the event that led the narrator parents to buy a piano. He doesn't say why they bought it. It explained why the narrator always wanted a piano close to her bedroom. No, he said the piano wanted to be set free. He doesn't talk about why it needs close. It establishes how the narrator feels about the piano. He said it wants to be set free, maybe. So now I'm also stable on the answer of D. But I have to read the whole thing just to be sure. The following text is from Holly Goldberg, Solon's 2017 novel short. More than 2 years ago, my parents bought a piano from some people who were moving to Ottawa. Mom and dad gave it to my brothers and me for Christmas. I had to act really happy because it was such a big present. But I pretty much hated the thing from the second it was carried into the hallway upstairs. So he talked about the feeling, which is right next to my bedroom. The piano glared at me. It was like a songbird in cage. It wanted to be set free, so my answer is right. Let's go to number 13. Write the answer, please, on the chat box. Also waiting for Esther Ayman. Okay, unfortunately, in this question, we have 1, 2, 3. 3 got it wrong. Number 13. Let's find together. This is the function of the underlined sentence. And we said when we come to answer the function of the underlined sentence, the main answer is on the underline. But it's better to read a sentence before and sentence after. Here he said the procession of weary soldiers, tired soldiers, became a bedraggled train, despondent and mattering, marching with churning effort in a trough of liquid brown, mud under a low, wretched sky. So he talked about the environment, the ecosystem, that they are just moving on. Soldier, that they are tired, the war, mud. The sentence that is the most important for us. Yet the youth smiled. One of the soldiers smiled in that kind of, we're going to say, bad atmosphere. For he saw that the word was a word for him, though many discovered it to be made of curses and walking sticks. So one of the soldiers smiled because he thought the word for him, despite other soldiers with him. They said that it made of curses and walking sticks. The last sentence, or the sentence after, he had rid himself of the red sickness of battle. He gave up of the battle, or he just leave the battle. He just think about that now he's alive, looking at the bright side. So it contrasts Henry's emotional state with the other soldier. Yes, he was smiling, the other are not. They thought that they are curses. It highlights the physical and emotional toll. Toll means hardships that the war has taken on the soldier. It mentioned. But here it's missing. He doesn't mention about the one that is smiling. It presents a shift in Henry's perception of the natural world. It's not a shift. It's a contrast between him and other soldiers. It emphasized Henry's sense of exhaustion in the aftermath of the battle. We did talk about that he's exhausted. He's smiling. So the answer is A. Ali Morsi, clear?
Yes, mister.
Rafif, clear?
Yes.
Rahaf Abdulkareem, clear?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to number 14. Waiting for Rafif and Ala for number 14. Okay, waiting for Ala. Ala is not here. Okay. So we have only one that got it as a mistake for number 14. This is a cross-text connection. Scale cross-text connection. What you want here, he said based on the text. Based on the text. Take care of that. Based on the text. Both authors would most likely agree with which statement. So here, I don't care about you read this first, you read this first. The main thing for me, that to find the point of agreement. So I'm going to read text 1. On April 26, 1777, Sybil Ladington rode 40 miles by horse through Putnam County, New York, to gather up local militia. British forces were burning nearby Denbury, Connecticut, and Ladington wanted to rally rebel troops to meet them. Although she was only 60 years old at the time, her brave feat made Ladington one of the heroes of the American Revolution. Since then, Ladington has been widely celebrated in inspiring post stamps, statues, and even children's TV series. So from the first sentence, I found that he started to glorify Ladington. Let's look at text 2. Historian Paula D. Hunt researched the life and legacy of Sybil Ladington, but found no evidence for her famous ride. Although many articles and books have been written about Ladington, Hunt believed writer may have been inventing details about Ladington as they retold her story. Ladington revered something positive. We take it in the words. By American means worthy today, but there simply isn't strong historical record of her heroic ride. Whatever I found the similarity between both of them, that both of them glorify Ladington. So Sybil Ladington was likely not a real person. This only mentioned in text 2. Sybil Ladington was crucial to the outcome of the Revolutionary War. This also mentioned in text 2 only. Historians have confirmed which route Sybil Ladington took. It's not mentioned in both of them. Many people have come to admire the story of Sybil Ladington, right? Yes, it was mentioned in text 1 and text 2. Nardine, clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Your homework, I'm not going to give you too much homework. Only from number 15. Because we have a session tomorrow. Till number 20. From 15 till 20. And see you tomorrow, inshallah. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr.
Goodbye, Mr.
Goodbye. Ala.